It was a warm, quiet Sunday afternoon in the suburbs of Austin, Texas. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the front lawns of our peaceful neighborhood. I was sitting on my porch, a mug of black coffee in hand, letting the silence settle around me like a blanket. It was the kind of day that begged for peace, yet something in the air felt different, heavy, almost uneasy. Then I saw her. Emily, my neighbor from across the street, stepped out of her front door and slowly began walking toward my house. She was dressed in black, her shoulders slightly hunched, and large sunglasses shielded her eyes. She moved like someone lost in a dream or a nightmare. Just yesterday we had all stood at the cemetery, watching as her husband Mark was laid to rest. He had died suddenly in a car accident. No one saw it coming. He was only 38. Emily and Mark had lived across the street for about 4 years. We'd shared barbecues, helped each other shovel snow, exchanged holiday gifts. Mark was the kind of guy who always had a joke ready. Emily, on the other hand, was warm but reserved, the kind of woman who kept her struggles private. I stood as she approached. "Hey," I said softly. "Can I come in for a bit?" she asked, her voice almost a whisper. "Of course," I replied, stepping aside and holding the door open for her. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. My house wasn't fancy, but it felt warmer than the emptiness that must have waited for her at home. I offered her coffee, but she declined with a shake of her head. She sat quietly for a moment, staring at nothing in particular. "I just couldn't sit in that house anymore," she finally said, her voice tight. "Everywhere I look, I see him, his shoes by the door, his jacket on the chair, the smell of his cologne. It's like he's still there, but not really." I nodded, not knowing what to say. Sometimes silence is the only honest response. Then she looked at me, really looked at me, and I saw something in her eyes, confusion, hurt, maybe even fear. "You were his friend," she said. "You knew him well, but I think he was hiding something from me." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" She reached into her purse and pulled out a small sealed envelope. It looked old, the edges slightly worn. "I found this in his desk drawer last night," she said. "It's addressed to you." I stared at the envelope in her hand. My name was written on the front, in Mark's familiar handwriting. I felt a strange chill crawl down my spine. Why would Mark leave me a letter, and why hide it? I took it slowly, uncertain of what I was about to find. Emily leaned back watching me, her hands trembling. And in that moment I knew this wasn't just grief. This was the beginning of something much deeper. The envelope felt heavier than it should have, not in weight, but in meaning. I looked up at Emily. She gave me a small nod, urging me to open it. My hands were unsteady as I broke the seal and pulled out a single sheet of folded paper. Mark's handwriting filled the page, neat, familiar, and unnervingly calm. "If you're reading this, something has gone wrong, and I'm sorry." That was the first line. I swallowed hard and kept reading. The letter was short, but every word struck deep. Mark explained that a few months ago he discovered something he shouldn't have. Details about a company he worked with that was involved in illegal activities. Money laundering, offshore accounts, and something darker he couldn't even name. He had tried to step away quietly, but threats followed. "I didn't tell Emily," the letter continued, "because I didn't want her to live in fear. But if anything happens to me, please make sure she's protected. There's a flash drive hidden under the floorboard in my study. You'll know what to do." I folded the letter slowly, stunned. My mouth was dry. Emily watched me, silently begging for answers. "He knew something," I said finally, "something dangerous, and he didn't want to put you in harm's way." Her breath caught. "So it wasn't just an accident?" I shook my head. "I don't think so." We sat in silence for a moment, the weight of it all sinking in. Then I stood. "Come with me," I said. We crossed the street to her house. The sun had started to dip below the rooftops, casting long orange shadows across the yard. Inside, everything was just as she described, frozen in time. I walked straight to the study. The floorboard creaked under my foot near the desk. I knelt, pulled up the wood panel, and there it was, a small black flash drive wrapped in tape. Back at my place, I plugged it into my laptop. Files appeared instantly, documents, spreadsheets, email threads, all pointing to a corporation laundering millions through shell companies. Mark had collected evidence, meticulously. "This is enough to bring them down," I said. "But what do we do now?" Emily asked. "We go to the FBI, carefully, quietly. If these people know Mark had this, they might come looking." She nodded, still in shock. "Do you think they'll come after me?" "They might," I admitted, "but you won't be alone." I reached over and took her hand. She gripped it tightly. Over the next few weeks, we worked with federal agents, turning over everything. There were headlines, arrests, investigations. Through it all, Emily stayed strong. We started spending more time together, not just because of Mark, but because something new had started to grow between us, something honest. Mark's death left a wound, but also a message. Sometimes, even in the darkest moments, truth can lead to justice and to unexpected beginnings. And in the end, he didn't just leave us with pain. He left us with purpose.